is a particular ache that lives beneath your ribs when you discover they have already healed. You know this feeling, do you not? The way your chest tightens when you see them smiling in photographs with someone new. The heaviness that settles into your bones when mutual friends mention how well they seem. The sharp breath you take when you realize they have moved forward while you still wake each morning, carrying the weight of what was. If these words bring you peace, you may return to this little sanctuary by joining our circle. If your heart feels held in this moment, you may rest with us again by gently subscribing. Let me know where the night finds you. It helps me feel close to your journey. I am sitting beside my small window, tonight watching the bamboo sway in the evening wind. The river below my hut carries the same patient rhythm it has held for centuries. Sometimes I light extra incense when I sense many hearts arriving here, heavy with comparison. Tonight feels like such a night. The smoke curls upward, carrying prayers for all of you who feel left behind in your healing. When I was a young nun learning to tend the temple gardens, I watched 2 maple trees planted on the same day. One burst into brilliant red leaves that first autumn, while the other remained stubbornly green. I remember kneeling beside the green tree, feeling worried for it. My teacher found me there, with my hands pressed against its bark. She sat beside me in the dirt, without speaking for a long while. Finally, she said something I have never forgotten. Not all seasons arrive at the same time for every living thing. The hardest grief is not always the loss itself. Sometimes the hardest grief is watching someone else recover from the same loss with what appears to be ease. Your nervous system notices these things, even when you try not to look. The body keeps its own calendar of healing. It knows when 3 months have passed and they seem fine, while you still cannot listen to certain songs. It knows when 6 months have gone by and they have started dating while you still sleep on one side of the bed. It knows when a year has turned and they have built a new life while you still check your phone for messages that will never come. There is no shame in healing slowly. Let me say this again, so your body can receive it. There is no shame in healing slowly. The river outside my window has taught me that water always finds its own pace. Some streams rush down the mountain in wild cascades. Others move so slowly, you must watch the leaves on their surface to know they flow at all. Both reach the sea. Both carry what they must carry. Both know their own timing. I want to tell you what I have learned from sitting with hundreds of hearts in this small temple over the years. The ones who seem to move on quickly are not always the ones who have healed deeply. Movement is not the same as mending. Dating someone new is not the same as releasing the past. Smiling in photographs is not the same as peace settling into the bones. You cannot measure your healing against their performance of recovery. You cannot know what wakes them at 3 a.m. You cannot see what memories surface when they are alone in their car. You cannot feel the grief they might be postponing through motion. Your healing is your own sacred timeline. It belongs to no one else, not to them, not to your friends who think you should be over it by now, not to the world that wants you to move faster. Your heart knows its own seasons. Trust this knowing even when it feels unbearably slow. The bamboo outside bends, but does not break in the strongest winds. This is because bamboo grows in segments. Each segment must be complete before the next begins. Your healing works the same way. You cannot skip segments. You cannot rush the completion of one phase to begin another. Each feeling must be fully felt. Each memory must be properly honored. Each layer of loss must be acknowledged before the next can be addressed. When you see them thriving, while you still struggle to eat full meals, your body might flood with shame. This shame tells you there is something wrong with your pace. This shame whispers that you are broken for still caring. This shame insists you should be further along by now, but shame does not understand the holy work of grief. Shame does not know that love leaves deep roots, and deep roots take time to transform into new soil. Let your body show you where this comparison lives. Is it a tightness in your throat when you hear their name? Is it a clenching in your jaw when someone asks if you are dating yet? Is it a hollowness in your chest when you realize another month has passed? Find where comparison has made a home in your tissues and breathe your own tenderness there. Your body is not betraying you by holding on. Your body is honoring the depth of what was real. I knew a woman once who came to the temple after her partner of 12 years left for someone younger. She would sit by the pond every evening, watching the koi swim in slow circles. For months, she barely spoke. She told me later that everyone in her life kept pushing her to start dating. They said the best way to get over someone was to get under someone else. They said she needed to show him she was fine. They said staying single made her look pathetic. But she kept coming to the pond. She kept watching the fish. She kept letting her grief move at its own pace. One evening after 6 months of silence, she finally spoke. She said the koi taught her something. They swim the same circles every day, but each circle is different because the fish are different. Each day, they have grown imperceptibly. Each circle carries them through water that has been changed by their previous passing. Nothing in nature rushes its own becoming. She stayed single for 2 more years, not to punish herself or prove something. She stayed single because her heart needed that much time to finish what it started. The moon does not apologize for taking a full month to complete its cycle. The tide does not feel shame for retreating before it returns. The seasons do not compare themselves to each other, wondering why winter takes so long to become spring. Yet here you sit, believing your timeline is wrong, because someone else appears to have moved through their seasons faster. There is something I need you to understand about the person who has moved on before you. Their healing is not a judgment of your pace. Their new relationship is not evidence of your inadequacy. Their apparent happiness is not proof that the love you shared meant less to them. People process loss in radically different ways. Some run toward new connections to avoid the silence. Some fill every empty moment with noise and motion. Some convince themselves that moving forward means they have moved through. You are witnessing their way. It does not diminish your way. In the temple, we have a saying: the rice that cooks quickly often remains hard at the center. The rice that cooks slowly absorbs every drop of water and becomes nourishment. You are not falling behind by moving slowly. You are becoming nourishment. You are allowing every part of this experience to transform you properly. You are honoring the depth of what was by giving its ending equal depth. Your friends might not understand why you still cry some nights. Your family might wonder when you will finally move on. The world might label you as stuck or dwelling or unable to let go. Let them have their opinions. They are observing from the outside. Only you know the inner landscape of your particular grief. Only you know how deeply the roots went. Only you know what is being asked of you in this slow unraveling. There is profound courage in staying present to your own timeline when everyone else seems to be moving faster. There is radical strength in refusing to perform recovery you have not actually achieved. There is deep wisdom in letting your heart take the time it takes, even when that time extends beyond social comfort. The temple bells ring differently in winter than in summer. The cold air carries sound in a way that warmth cannot. Your grief might be a winter grief. It might need the cold air to carry its particular song. Their grief might have been a summer grief, light and quick to pass. Neither is better. Both are true. Both deserve respect. I want to speak now to the part of you that checks their social media even though it hurts. The part that looks for evidence they miss you. The part that searches for signs they are struggling too. This part of you is not pathetic or obsessive. This part is trying to make sense of abandonment. This part is trying to understand how hearts can move at such different speeds. Be gentle with this searching part. It will exhaust itself eventually. It will tire of looking for something that confirms your timeline is the right one. There is no right timeline. There is only your timeline. The timeline written in your bones, in blood, in breath. The timeline that honors what was real by taking time with what is ending. The timeline that refuses to abandon yourself the way you feel abandoned by them. When my teacher was dying, she called me to her room. She could barely speak, but she wanted to tell me something about the 2 maple trees I had worried about so many years before. The green one that stayed green when its companion turned red. She reminded me of that tree, and then she smiled. She said it finally turned the most magnificent gold anyone had ever seen, but it took 3 full years. 3 years of watching its companion blaze red every autumn while it remained green. 3 years of looking broken or delayed or wrong. And then when its time came, it transformed into something so beautiful that people traveled from other villages to see it. You might be the green maple. You might be in your 3-year season, while they burned bright and fast in 3 months. This does not mean you are broken. This means your transformation is going to be profound. This means when your gold finally comes, It will be the kind of gold that makes people stop and stare. The kind of gold that only comes from taking the time it really takes. Tonight, I want to share something I witnessed many years ago when I was still learning the ways of water and waiting. It was during the spring rains, when the temple courtyard would flood with small pools of water. 2 lotus seeds had fallen into one such pool near the eastern wall. I remember this so clearly because I watched them every morning for months. They had landed barely a hand's width apart in the same shallow water. They received the same sunlight. They were touched by the same rain. Yet one sprouted within days, while the other remained a closed seed for so long, I thought it was dead. The first lotus pushed its green shoot through the water surface with what seemed like urgent determination. Each day, I would sweep the courtyard and check its progress. Within 2 weeks, it had unfurled its first leaf. Within a month, it had 3 leaves floating like small green plates on the water. The other seed remained invisible beneath the murky surface, just a small dark shape that showed no signs of life. I became attached to these 2 seeds in a way that surprises me now, perhaps because I was young and saw myself in that dormant seed. I had come to the temple after a great loss and watched other novices seem to find peace so quickly, while I still woke each night with my pillow wet from tears. The sprouted lotus became a reminder of my inadequacy. The dormant seed became my companion in slowness. One morning, I could not bear it anymore. I reached into the water to check if the second seed was even viable. My teacher caught my wrist before my fingers touched the seed. She held my hand there, suspended above the water, while we both looked at the murky depth. She asked me why I needed both seeds to grow at the same pace. I told her it seemed unfair that they started together, but one was so far ahead. She released my wrist and said something that changed how I see all of life. She said, "Fairness is not about same outcomes. Fairness is about each seed having the right to its own timing." We sat there together beside the pool, where the morning sun climbed higher. She pointed to the sprouted lotus with its perfect leaves. Then she pointed to the place where the dormant seed rested. She asked me which one I thought was suffering more. I said, surely the dormant seed must be suffering because it was failing to grow. She shook her head slowly. She said, the sprouted lotus was spending all its energy on leaves because it was trying to survive shallow water. The dormant seed was taking time because it sensed something the sprouted one could not. The rains would end soon. The pool would dry. Only the seed that waited to develop proper roots would survive. This confused me at the time. How could waiting be wisdom when growth seemed so obviously better? How could dormancy be intelligence when sprouting was the clear purpose of a seed? But my teacher was patient with my confusion. She brought me back to that pool every few days to observe. The sprouted lotus continued its display of green abundance. More leaves, taller stems, even a small bud forming. Meanwhile, the second seed remained hidden and still. Then the rains stopped. This happens every year, but that year they stopped earlier than usual. The pool began to shrink. The edges turned to mud. The sprouted lotus leaves began to brown and curl. Within a week, the pool was just a damp depression in the earth. The beautiful early lotus withered completely. Its shallow roots had never found deep soil. It had spent everything on visible growth. I thought both seeds were now lost. The drought lasted 2 months. The courtyard baked in the summer heat. Even the stones felt like they might crack. I stopped checking the dried pool because it made me too sad. Both seeds had failed, just in different ways. One by rushing, one by waiting too long. Then the late summer rains came. They always come, but that year they came with unusual force. The courtyard flooded deeper than anyone could remember. The pool reformed, but 3 times its original size. And there, in the center of that vast new pool, something emerged. The second seed had finally sprouted. But what emerged was not the fragile shoot of a young lotus. What emerged was a thick, strong stem rising from roots that had spent all those months growing downward in the dark. My teacher brought me to see it the morning it bloomed. The flower was massive, larger than any lotus I had seen in the temple ponds. Its roots had found something during its dormancy that the rushed lotus never could have touched. Deep water, ancient soil, the kind of foundation that could support not just survival, but magnificence. She asked me if I still thought the second seed had been suffering in its stillness. I could not answer because I was crying, not from sadness, but from recognition. I understood then what my body had been trying to do in its slow grief. It was growing roots in the dark. It was finding depth the quick healers would never touch. It was preparing for a blooming that could only come from that much waiting. This memory returns to me tonight because I sense many of you are the second seed. You watch others sprint through their healing, displaying leaves of new relationships and flowers of apparent happiness. You see their quick growth and think you must be broken for still being underground. You measure their visible progress against your invisible depths and find yourself lacking. But you are not lacking. You are deepening. The person who moved on before you might be the first lotus. This is not a judgment of their heart. Some souls need to move quickly to survive their particular drought. Some hearts must reach for immediate light or risk drowning in the dark. Their quick sprouting might be saving them in ways you cannot see. Honor their path while honoring your own different timing. But you are the second seed. You are taking the time to grow roots that reach the deep aquifer of real transformation. You are building the foundation for a life that will not wither at the first dry season. You are preparing for a blooming that will last because it comes from depths not everyone is brave enough to explore. Every time you see them with their new person and feel that sharp constriction in your chest, remember the second seed. Every time mutual friends tell you how happy they seem and you feel that hollow ache beneath your ribs, remember the second seed. Every time another month passes and you are still dreaming about them, while they seem to have forgotten you existed, remember the second seed. Your invisibility is not absence. Your stillness is not stagnation. Your depth is not delay. In the temple, we learn that bamboo can grow 90 feet in 60 days, but only after spending 4 years growing roots underground. 4 years of invisibility. 4 years of other plants sprouting and blooming and dying around it while it remains hidden. 4 years of looking like nothing is happening while everything is happening below the surface. Then, when its foundation is finally complete, it becomes the fastest growing plant on Earth. You might be in year 2 of your underground years, while they accomplish their healing in 2 months. This does not mean they are healthier, or stronger, or more evolved. This means you are growing different gardens. Their garden needed quick flowers to attract new pollinators. Your garden needs deep roots to support ancient trees. Both are valid. Both are necessary. Only one is yours to tend. I keep returning to that dried pool in the courtyard because it taught me something about trust. When the first lotus died, I thought tragedy had struck. When the second seed still did not sprout, I thought it too had failed. I could not see that the dying and the waiting were both part of a larger pattern. The first lotus composted into nutrients that fed the second seed. The second seed waited for conditions the first lotus could never have survived. What looked like failure and delay was actually perfect orchestration. Your slower healing might be perfectly orchestrated for reasons you cannot yet see. Perhaps you are meant to develop capacities that only come from this much waiting. Perhaps you are meant to discover parts of yourself that only emerge in extended solitude. Perhaps you are meant to become someone who could not have been rushed into existence. Perhaps your slow healing is not a punishment, but a preparation for something that requires this much foundation. When I finally bloomed, that second lotus remained in the courtyard pool for 7 years. 7 years of returning each spring stronger and more magnificent. The first lotus would have given maybe 1 season of beauty before exhausting itself, but the second lotus became a teaching for every novice who came to the temple feeling behind in their spiritual progress. We would bring them to the pool and tell them the story of the 2 seeds. We would show them how depth takes time but creates lasting beauty. Some of you have been the second seed for so long, you wonder if you will ever bloom. You see them flourishing in their new life and wonder if you missed your chance at transformation. But seeds can remain viable in darkness for decades. Some seeds actually require extended dormancy before they can germinate. Your dormancy might be requirement, not dysfunction. Your extended stillness might be gathering exactly the force needed for your particular becoming. The pool in the courtyard eventually became permanent. The temple built stone edges around it, and it became a place of meditation. But in the beginning, it was just a temporary puddle that everyone walked around. No one could have predicted it would become sacred space. Your grief might feel like a temporary puddle right now, an inconvenient depression in the landscape of your life that you have to navigate around. But it might be becoming something permanent and sacred, something that will eventually hold not just one lotus, but many. I need you to hear this in your bones. Their speed is not your failure. Their new love is not your inadequacy. Their apparent healing is not evidence that you are broken. You are simply growing at depths they did not need to explore. You are learning things that only come from extended winter. You are becoming someone who could only emerge from this much time in the dark soil. The second seed in that courtyard pool taught me patience with my own becoming. It taught me that comparison is only painful when we believe everyone should grow at the same rate. It taught me that dormancy is not death, but a gathering of life force. It taught me that the most magnificent bloomings often come after the longest gestations. It taught me to trust the intelligence of seeds, even when they show no external signs of growth. You might be reading this while lying in the bed you once shared with them. The empty space beside you still holds their shape, even though the sheets have been washed countless times. Your body remembers the weight of them there, the specific way the mattress dipped, the particular rhythm of their breathing that became your nightly meditation. Now that space feels like a wound that will not close, especially when you know they are sharing a different bed with someone new. This is the lotus seed story living in your modern life. You are lying in that empty bed while they have already planted themselves in new soil. You are still feeling the depression where their body used to be, while they are creating new impressions elsewhere. The unfairness of this hits you in waves. Some nights the waves are so strong, you have to sit up and put your feet on the floor just to remember you are still here, still whole, still worthy of taking up space, even though they chose to take up space somewhere else. I see you checking the timestamps on their messages to other people. 3 weeks after your ending, they were already laughing at someone else's jokes online. I see you calculating the days between when they said they needed to be alone and when they posted that first picture with someone new. 6 weeks. Only 6 weeks between I need space to heal and I found someone better. The math of betrayal runs constantly in your mind. Each calculation adds to the weight in your chest. You wonder if the whole relationship was a lie. How could they move on so quickly if what you had was real? How could they replace you before you even learned to sleep through the night again? These questions circle like the koi in the temple pond, round and round, finding no answer that brings peace. Let me offer you something that might help. Quick replacement is often not about the depth of what was, but about the inability to be with what is. Some people cannot sit with emptiness. The silence terrifies them more than staying in wrong love ever could. The moment you left, or they left the vacancy, became unbearable. Not because they did not love you, but because they cannot love themselves enough to be alone. Their quick movement into something new is not evidence that you meant nothing. It is evidence that solitude means everything, and they cannot face it. You count the months since they left and measure them against their apparent happiness. 4 months, and they are posting about their best life. 7 months, and they are traveling with someone new to places you had planned to go together. 10 months, and they announce an engagement or a pregnancy or a move across the country with their new love. Meanwhile, you are still finding their hair ties under the couch, still accidentally buying their favorite yogurt at the store, still turning to tell them something funny before remembering they are gone. This disparity feels like proof of your inadequacy, but it is not. It is proof that humans heal at radically different paces for radically different reasons. Their quick happiness might be genuine, or it might be performance. Their new relationship might be healing, or it might be bypassing. Their forward movement might be growth, or it might be running. You cannot know from the outside. You can only know your own interior landscape and trust that it deserves its own timeline. Let me tell you now about something that happened 3 summers ago that still teaches me about the courage of slow healing. A woman came to stay at the temple for a month. She arrived in such visible distress that even the birds seemed to quiet when she walked the grounds. Her husband of 15 years had left her for his assistant, a story so common it almost feels like a cliche until it happens to your life, until it is your 15 years that get erased, your future that gets rewritten, your body that gets compared to someone younger and found lacking. She told me the worst part was not the leaving itself. The worst part was that he married the assistant 4 months after their divorce finalized. 4 months. She was still opening mail addressed to both of them, and he was already picking wedding venues. She was still finding his socks in the laundry, and he was already buying new rings. The speed of his replacement felt like violence, like everything they built had meant so little it could be reconstructed with someone else before she even changed her emergency contact information. She came to the temple because she could not bear to be in the city where she might see them, where mutual friends might accidentally mention their happiness, where she might run into them at the farmer's market she had shopped at for 15 years, now walking with someone who looked like her younger self. She came to the temple to escape, but what she found was something else entirely. Every morning, she would sit by the river before dawn. I would bring her tea and sit quietly nearby, not speaking unless she initiated. For the first week, she said nothing, just stared at the water moving past like she was watching her life flow away. The second week, she began to make sounds. Not words, but sounds. Keenan sounds. Grieving sounds. The kind of sounds we are not allowed to make in modern life. The kind of sounds that only come when the body finally feels safe enough to release what it has been holding. The third week, she told me about their beginning, how he had pursued her with such devotion she felt like the only woman alive, how he had written her poems and drawn her pictures and called her his salvation, how they had built a life so intertwined she did not know where she ended and he began. She told me about their middle years, the fertility struggles, the 3 miscarriages he held her through, the decision to stop trying, the way he said she was enough, that she would always be enough. Then she told me about the ending, how he became distant so gradually she thought it was work stress, how he started staying late at the office where his assistant worked, how she brought him dinner one night as a surprise and found them not touching, but standing too close, laughing too softly, looking at each other the way he used to look at her. She knew in that moment, but pretended not to know for 6 more months. 6 months of watching him fall in love with someone else while still coming home to her bed. She asked me the question I have been asked hundreds of times in different words, but always the same wound. Why was she still destroyed while he was already rebuilt? Why was she still bleeding while he was already healed? Why was her heart still saying his name while his heart had learned new names to say? I brought her to the meditation hall where the old boards creak with every step. I asked her to walk across the room. Just walk. She did. The boards sang out her passage. High notes and low notes, dependent on her weight distribution. I asked her to watch me walk the same path. I did. The boards made completely different sounds, different notes, different rhythm, different music entirely. Same boards, same path, completely different song. I told her this is how hearts move through loss. The same ending creates different music in different bodies. His quick remarriage was his particular song, perhaps a frantic melody trying to drown out silence, perhaps a desperate percussion trying to keep darker rhythms at bay. Her slow dissolution was her particular song, a requiem that needed every note to be fully played, a lamenting that could not be rushed without dishonoring what was real. She spent the 4th week learning to play the singing bowls. Her hands shook at first. The sounds were harsh and brief, but slowly she learned to draw the mallet around the rim in a way that created sustained vibration. One morning, she achieved a tone so pure and long that tears came without warning. She looked at me and said she understood something. The quick, sharp sounds were easy to make. Anyone could strike a bowl and create noise, but the sustained, pure tones required patience, pressure, persistence, presence. Her healing was the sustained tone. His healing was the quick strike. Both created sound. Only one created music that continued to vibrate long after the contact ended. She was learning to be the sustained tone, to let her grief vibrate fully, to not strike herself into quick noise, just to prove she could make sound. On her last morning at the temple, she told me something I will never forget. She said she had been so focused on his quick recovery that she had not noticed her slow deepening. She had been so obsessed with his new happiness that she had not felt her own new capacities growing. She could now sit with sadness without drowning. She could feel anger without destroying. She could hold loneliness without immediately reaching for replacement. These were skills he would never develop because he had never stayed still long enough to grow them. She said the strangest realization was that she no longer envied his speed. She saw it now as a kind of disability, the inability to be with difficulty, the inability to honor endings, the inability to compost loss into wisdom. He would likely repeat the same pattern with his new love, because he had not learned what the pattern was teaching. She would likely never repeat her pattern because she was taking the time to understand its every thread. When she left the temple, she was still sad, still grieving, still months or maybe years from what anyone would call recovered. But she was also deeper, wider, more capable of holding paradox, more able to be with the full spectrum of human experience. Her slow healing had become a spiritual expansion. He would never know, because he had opted for quick replacement over transformation. I share her story because I want you to understand something about the person who moved on before you did. Their speed might be costing them depths you are gaining. Their quick happiness might be preventing the kind of profound rewiring you are allowing. Their replacement relationship might be a photocopy of old patterns while you are writing entirely new ones. You cannot see this yet because you are still in the middle of your becoming. But one day you will look back and feel grateful for every month you thought you were falling behind. The river outside my window knows only one speed, its own. It does not compare itself to rain that reaches the earth faster. It does not compare itself to underground streams that move slower. It simply moves at the pace its particular channel demands. Your heart is like this river. It has its own channel carved by your particular love and loss. It must move at the speed that channel allows. To force it faster would be to overflow the banks and cause flooding. To dam it completely would be to create stagnation. You must find your own rhythm between rushing and stopping. There is a teaching I want to offer you now, something the temple has known for generations, but the modern world has forgotten. Healing is not a race to be won, but a season to be honored. Just as winter does not compete with spring to see who can arrive first, your heart should not compete with theirs to see who can heal faster. Each season serves its purpose. Each timeline carries its wisdom. The person who moved on before you is living their season. You are living yours. Neither is wrong. Both are necessary. The main spiritual principle I want you to hold is this: comparison is only painful when we believe there is one right way to heal. But healing is like water. It takes the shape of its container. Your container is shaped by your history, your temperament, your capacity, your support, your beliefs about love and loss. Their container is shaped by entirely different forces. The same loss poured into different containers will naturally take different shapes. Move at different speeds. Find different depths. Let me give you a practical way to think about this. Imagine two people cut their hands on the same piece of glass. The cuts look similar from the outside. Same length, same amount of blood, same initial pain. But one person has thick skin from years of working with their hands. The other has thin, sensitive skin that tears easily. One person has good circulation that brings healing nutrients quickly. The other has slow circulation that takes time to deliver what is needed. One person keeps the wound clean and covered. The other keeps reopening it by using their hand too soon. The cuts might have started the same, but they will heal at completely different rates. The person with thick skin and good circulation who protects the wound might heal in a week. The person with thin skin and slow circulation who keeps using their hand might take months. Is the slow healer broken? Is the quick healer better? No. They are simply working with different bodies, different histories, different ways of being with wounds. Your emotional body has its own thickness of skin, its own circulation speed, its own way of being with wounds. You might be someone who feels everything deeply, who needs to examine each thread of loss before releasing it, who must understand the full story before closing the book. This is not pathology. This is your particular way of being human. Their emotional body might be built differently. Thicker boundaries, faster circulation, quicker scabbing over of wounds. This is not superiority. This is their particular way of being human. In the temple, we have watched thousands of people process loss. Some cry for 3 days straight, then never cry again. Some cry every morning for 5 minutes for 2 years. Some rage and break things, then find immediate peace. Some carry quiet sorrow that slowly lightens over decades. We have learned not to judge any pattern. We have learned to trust that each person knows their own way through, even when they think they are lost. The teaching is not that you should heal faster or slower. The teaching is that you should heal true to your own nature, true to the depth of what you lost, true to what your particular spirit requires. True healing cannot be rushed or compared. It can only be honored as it unfolds in its own time. Think about how different trees lose their leaves. The oak holds its brown leaves all winter, only dropping them when new growth pushes them off in spring. The maple releases its leaves in one glorious surrender, bare within days of the first frost. The pine never loses its needles, just slowly releases old ones while growing new ones, so gradually you hardly notice. Each tree has evolved its own relationship with letting go. None is right or wrong. Each is perfectly adapted to its nature. You might be an oak tree trying to force yourself to be a maple, because maples seem to let go so beautifully and completely. You watch the maple that is your former love drop all their leaves in one dramatic release and move into new growth while you still stand there, rattling with old brown leaves. You feel broken, stuck, unable to properly release. But oak trees serve a purpose in holding their leaves. The dead leaves protect new buds from winter frost. They provide shelter for birds through the cold months. They create a particular kind of beauty in the winter forest. Your slow release might be protecting something tender that needs more time before being exposed. Your holding on might be sheltering parts of you that are not ready for the harsh exposure of being fully alone. Your rattling leaves might be creating a kind of beauty that only you can create, a beauty that comes from the courage to be visibly in process, while others appear to be complete. Here is what I know after decades of watching hearts heal. The ones who heal true to their nature, no matter how long it takes, create lives of incredible depth and authenticity. The ones who rush to match someone else's timeline often have to circle back and do the real work later. Sometimes years later, when the performance of being healed finally cracks and the unprocessed grief comes flooding back. I knew a man who remarried 3 months after his wife died. Everyone marveled at his resilience, his ability to move forward, his choice of life over death. He seemed like the picture of healthy grieving. But 5 years later, he arrived at the temple, unable to stop crying. The tears were not for his second wife, who he loved. The tears were for his first wife, who he had never properly mourned. He had moved so quickly into new love that the old love had no place to be honored. It waited. It stayed frozen in his body until one day a particular song played and the dam broke. He spent 6 months at the temple doing the grieving he had bypassed 5 years earlier. It was harder now, more complex, tangled up with guilt about his second marriage, confused by time, complicated by the ways he had changed. He told me he wished he had taken the time when the grief was fresh, when it was simple, when it made sense to everyone why he needed to stop and feel it fully. This is not to say everyone who moves quickly will have this reckoning. Some people genuinely heal in motion. Some hearts truly mend through new love. But many who appear to move on quickly are simply postponing the full feeling. And postponed feeling does not disappear. It waits. It accumulates interest. It compounds in the body until it finds a way to be felt. Your slow healing might be saving you from this kind of compound interest by feeling everything now, in real time, at the pace your body requests. You are preventing future eruptions. You are doing the clean, honest work of grieving in its proper season. You are allowing the wound to heal from the bottom up rather than scabbing over while still festering underneath. The practical truth is this: there is no prize for finishing grief first. There is no award for the fastest recovery. There is no punishment for taking the longest time. There is only the living truth of your particular heart moving through its particular loss at its particular pace. Fighting this pace creates suffering. Honoring this pace creates wisdom. When you see them thriving in their new life, remember the teaching of the 2 seeds. Remember the oak and the maple. Remember that comparison assumes everyone is healing the same wound in the same body with the same resources. This is never true. You are healing your specific wound in your unique body with your available resources. This combination has never existed before. It will never exist again. How could you possibly know how long it should take? The temple bells ring 7 times each evening, 7 distinct tones calling us to evening practice. Some nights I hear all 7 bells clearly. Some nights my mind is so full I only hear the last one. Some nights I hear them, but they sound far away. Some nights they sound like they are ringing inside my chest. The bells never change. They ring the same pattern at the same time with the same force. But my receiving of them is different each night depending on my internal weather. Your former love received the ending of your relationship through their particular internal weather. It allowed them to move quickly into something new. You received the same ending through your different internal weather. It requires you to move slowly and feel deeply. Neither of you is wrong. You are simply experiencing the same bells through different states of being. Now, I want to guide you through a small practice, something you can do tonight when the weight of comparison feels unbearable, when you cannot stop checking their social media, when the unfairness of their happiness while you suffer feels like it might break you. This practice comes from the temple, but you can do it anywhere. You just need your body and your breath and your willingness to be exactly where you are. Find a comfortable position. You can sit or lie down. Place one hand on your chest where the ache lives. Place your other hand on your belly where the emptiness sits. Feel the warmth of your own hands meeting your own body. You are not alone. You are being held by yourself. This might not feel like enough, but it is practice for knowing that you are always accompanied by your own presence. Begin to breathe naturally. Do not force anything. Just notice your breath moving under your hands, your chest rising and falling, your belly expanding and releasing. This is the most ancient rhythm, the first rhythm you knew, the rhythm that will be with you until your last moment. It does not care that they have moved on. It does not care that you are still grieving. It simply continues its patient work of keeping you alive. Now imagine your breath is like the river outside my window. It has its own pace, its own rhythm. Sometimes it moves quickly when you are anxious. Sometimes it moves slowly when you are at peace. Right now, just let it move, however it wants to move. Do not compare your breath to how you think it should be. Do not force it to be calmer or deeper. Just let it be exactly what it is in this moment. As you breathe, picture their breath wherever they are. Right now, maybe lying beside someone new, maybe laughing at a dinner table, maybe completely unaware that you are thinking of them. Their breath is moving at its own pace, their rhythm serving their current moment. Your breath and their breath are no longer synchronized. This is not wrong. This is simply what happens when lives that were intertwined become separate rivers again. Keep breathing, and now imagine all the other people in the world who are also lying awake tonight, feeling left behind. Millions of hands on millions of chests feeling the same ache you feel. Millions of breaths moving through millions of bodies that feel too slow in their healing. You are not alone in this. You are part of an invisible congregation of slow healers, all breathing at your own pace, all honoring your own timeline, all refusing to rush what needs time. Stay with your breath for as long as feels comfortable. When you are ready, press your hands a little firmer against your chest and belly. This is you reminding yourself that you are here. You are choosing to stay with yourself, even when someone else chose to leave. You are keeping yourself company in the dark. You are being the witness to your own slow transformation. Before you remove your hands, offer yourself one small phrase of kindness. Something simple, something true. Maybe just, I am taking the time I need, or my pace is my own, or I am healing true to my nature. Whatever words feel like medicine to the part of you that believes you are falling behind. Whisper them, or think them, or just feel them in your hands as they rest on your body. This practice is not about feeling better immediately. It is about remembering that your body has its own intelligence about healing. Your breath knows how to pace itself. Your heart knows how to mend at its proper speed. Your hands know how to offer comfort even when you feel comfortless. Trust these small knowings. They are leading you toward a healing that might be slow but will be thorough. I do this practice myself on nights when the temple feels too quiet, when I remember my own losses and wonder if I grieved them properly, when I see others who seem to have found peace faster than I did. The practice always reminds me that comparison is a mind activity, but healing is a body activity. The mind can race ahead, comparing and measuring and judging, but the body moves at the pace of actual transformation, and actual transformation cannot be rushed. The night has grown deeper now, and I can hear the bamboo whispering secrets to the wind. Let me tell you one last story, a gentle story to carry you toward sleep, a story about the moon and the river and the patience of light. This happened many years ago when I was keeping vigil in the temple garden through the full night of the autumn equinox. It was the kind of night when the veil between waking and sleeping becomes thin, when stories feel more true than facts, when the heart finally releases what it has been carrying. There was an old monk who lived at the edge of our temple grounds, in a hut even smaller than mine. He had come to the temple after losing his entire family in a flood. The loss had been so complete that for 3 years he did not speak a single word. He would simply sit by the river each night, watching the moonlight move across the water. The other monks worried about him, but the abbot said to let him be. Sometimes silence is the only language vast enough for certain griefs. I would often see him on my evening walks, always in the same spot, always at the same angle, always watching the same patch of river. One night, curiosity overtook my respect for his solitude, and I sat down beside him. He did not acknowledge me, but he did not ask me to leave. So we sat together, watching the river carry pieces of moonlight toward the sea. After an hour of silence, he finally spoke. His voice was soft from disuse, like silk that had been folded away for seasons. He asked me if I knew why moonlight on water never stays still. I said I supposed it was because the water never stops moving. He smiled the saddest smile I have ever seen. He said that was what most people thought, but they were only seeing half the truth. He pointed to the moon moving slowly across the sky. Then he pointed to the river moving below us. He said moonlight on water dances because both the light and the water are in motion. The moon crosses the sky at its own pace. The river flows at its own rhythm. Where they meet creates a shimmering that belongs fully to neither. It is a third thing, a beauty born from two different movements, touching without merging. He told me he had been sitting by this river for 3 years, trying to understand something. His family was the moon. They had moved on to another sky he could not see. He was the river, still flowing, but in a different realm. The grief was the shimmering, where their memory met his continuing life. He had been hating the shimmer, wanting it to be still, wanting the moon to stop moving or the river to stop flowing. But that night, he finally understood. The shimmer was not wrong. It was the exact right thing to happen when light and water meet, but cannot merge. He said this understanding had taken 3 years to arrive. 3 years of sitting in the same spot, watching the same dance of light and water. 3 years of other monks thinking he was stuck, when actually he was learning the most profound lesson of his life. That grief is not something to be fixed or finished. It is a shimmering evidence that love continues, even when forms separate. It is a dance between what was and what is. And like moonlight on water, it never holds completely still, because both the griever and the grieved are still in motion. We sat together until dawn, watching the moonlight fade as the sun approached. Just before the first light touched the mountain peaks, he stood to leave. He looked at me with eyes that held depths I cannot describe. He said the last thing. He said he had learned that the moon does not grieve when its reflection leaves the water, and the water does not grieve when the moon sets. They simply continue their own motions, knowing they will meet again in the same way and in new ways. Every night a reunion, every dawn a parting. No grief, just the natural rhythm of connection and release. After that night, he began speaking again. Not much, but enough. He would teach young monks about patience, about how long real understanding takes to ripen. He would bring them to the river and show them the moonlight dancing. He would tell them that anyone trying to rush through grief was like someone trying to make moonlight hold still on water. It goes against the nature of both light and liquid. I tell you this story tonight because you are both the moon and the river. Part of you has moved on to a new sky, the part that was who you were in that relationship. That self is gone, moved on, living in memory now, but part of you is still here, still flowing, still carrying the reflection of what was while moving toward what might be. The shimmer of your grief is where these two parts of you meet. Stop trying to make it hold still. Let it dance. Let it shimmer. Let it be the living proof that you are still in motion, even when you feel frozen. The bamboo outside is bending in the wind, and I am reminded of another truth. Bamboo flowers only once every 60 to 100 years. Then it dies. Imagine waiting a century to bloom once. Imagine the patience required, the trust, the faith that blooming will come even if it takes a lifetime. You are asking yourself to heal in months or years. What bamboo would take a century to complete? Be gentle with your human timeline. You are moving so much faster than you realize. There is a special kind of quiet that comes just before sleep. The temple knows this quiet well. It is when the last bell has rung and the last sandal has whispered across the stone floor, when the candles have been blown out, but their smoke still hangs in the air, when everyone has settled into their sleeping positions, but dreams have not yet begun. This is the quiet I want to offer you now, the quiet that says, there is nothing more to do tonight, nothing more to figure out, nothing more to compare, just the slow drift toward rest. The river never stops flowing, but even the river has pools where the water moves so slowly it seems to sleep. These pools gather moonlight differently than the rushing sections. They hold it like cupped hands. They let it settle and deepen. Your grief needs these pools too. Places where the constant motion of loss can rest, where the endless comparing can pause, where the urgency to heal can soften into something more like floating. Think of yourself as floating now, not in water, but in time, floating in this exact moment between what was and what will be. There is no effort in floating, just the gentle work of trusting what holds you. The person who moved on before you is floating in their own current. You cannot reach them. They cannot reach you, but you are both held by the same vast ocean of time, both carried by forces beyond your control, both heading toward shores you cannot yet see. The old monk by the river taught me that some things can only be understood at the speed of seasons, not days or weeks, but full cycles of change. The bamboo knows this. The moon knows this. The river knows this. And somewhere in your bones, beneath the urgency your mind creates, you know this too. Your healing is happening at the speed of seasons. Let it be seasonal. Let it be cyclical. Let it return and retreat like tides. Let it follow its own ancient calendar. As you prepare for sleep tonight, I want you to imagine something gentle. Imagine you are lying beside the river near my hut. The moon is reflecting on the water, just as the old monk described, shimmering, dancing, never quite still. But you are not trying to understand it tonight. You are just watching, just being with the beauty of light and water meeting. The sound of the river is constant and soft, like a mother humming to a child, like wind through grass, like the earth itself breathing. Your body becomes heavy on the ground. The earth holds you completely. Every muscle releases its grip. Every bone settles into support. You are not falling behind. You are not being left. You are exactly where you need to be in this moment, beside a river that knows how to move at its own pace, under a moon that knows how to reflect without attaching, within a story that is still being written. The stars appear one by one above you. Each star is someone else lying awake, wondering if they are healing too slowly. Each star is a heart that feels left behind. Each star is a soul, learning that love changes form but does not die. You are one of these stars, shining in your own time, at your own brightness, in your own particular patch of sky. No star compares itself to another. They simply shine until they are ready to become something else. Let yourself drift now toward whatever rest is available tonight. Even if sleep feels far away, rest is always possible. Rest from comparing, rest from checking their social media, rest from calculating how many days or months have passed, rest from wondering what is wrong with your pace. Just rest here beside this imagined river. Let the moonlight dance on the water. Let the bamboo whisper its 100-year secrets. Let the night hold you exactly as you are. Tomorrow you will wake up and the work of healing will continue. The slow, patient work of becoming who you are without them. But tonight, just tonight, let yourself float. Let yourself be carried. Let yourself trust that your timeline is not wrong. It is simply yours, and yours is the only one you need to honor. The old monk lived for 20 more years after that night he first spoke to me. He never remarried, never found another family, but he became something else, something that could not have emerged without those 3 silent years by the river. He became a keeper of stories about light and water, about patience and shimmering, about how long it really takes for understanding to bloom. Students would come from other temples just to sit with him by the river, not for answers, but for the peace of being with someone who had learned to stop rushing the current. You might become something like this too, not a monk by a river, but someone who knows from the inside what slow healing creates. Someone who can sit with others who feel left behind and offer them the compassion that comes from lived experience. Someone who knows that the race to heal first is a race nobody actually wins. Someone who understands that depth takes time, and time creates depth. But that is tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Tonight, you are just here, breathing, resting, letting your heart beat at its own rhythm, letting your cells regenerate at their own pace, letting your dreams come in their own time. The bamboo outside my window will grow imperceptibly tonight. The river will carry infinite drops of water toward the sea. The moon will trace its ancient path across the sky, and you will heal one breath at a time, one heartbeat at a time, one dream at a time. There is nothing to catch up to, nothing to keep pace with, nothing to measure yourself against. There is only this moment of rest, this pause in the comparing, this quiet in the questioning. Let it be enough for tonight. Let yourself be enough exactly where you are in your journey. Let your timeline be sacred simply because it is yours. And now, as the deepest part of night wraps around us like a grandmother's shawl, I offer you these words of blessing. May your sleep tonight be free from the weight of comparison. May your dreams show you the beauty of your own pace. May you wake tomorrow with 1 gram less of shame about how long your healing is taking. May you remember the old monk by the river who took 3 years to understand what moonlight was teaching. May you remember the second lotus seed that waited through drought to bloom magnificently. May you remember that somewhere tonight I am lighting incense for all the slow healers, for all the ones who feel left behind, for all the hearts that refuse to rush what deserves time. You are not broken for still grieving while they have found new love. You are not weak for still crying while they are laughing. You are not wrong for still holding on while they have let go. You are simply moving through loss at the pace your soul requires, and your soul knows things your mind cannot fathom. Trust its timing, trust its slowness, trust its refusal to abandon depth for the appearance of recovery. The temple bell will ring once more before dawn. When it does, it will not care who hears it first. It will not care who receives its sound quickly or slowly. It will simply ring its truth into the night and let each ear receive it as they can. Your healing is like this bell. It rings at its own pitch, in its own time, for its own duration, and that is exactly as it should be. Rest now, dear one. Rest in the knowing that tonight you are held by the same darkness that holds them, but you do not have to heal at their speed to be worthy of the dawn. Rest well beneath the soft moon. The river will keep flowing. The bamboo will keep whispering, and your heart will keep healing at exactly the pace it needs to become whole in a new way. May the night carry you gently toward morning. May morning find you slightly softer than you were tonight. And may you always remember that somewhere beside a moonlit river, a monk is lighting a lantern for your journey, however long it takes. The night has grown so quiet now that I can hear the individual drops of dew forming on the bamboo leaves. Each drop gathers slowly, pulling moisture from the air with infinite patience. No drop forms faster than its nature allows. Some will grow heavy and fall before dawn. Others will catch the first sunlight and become tiny prisms. Both destinies are perfect. Both require only that the drop form at its own pace without comparing itself to the drops forming on other leaves. I want to tell you one final story now. A story so gentle it barely disturbs the silence. A story that moves like mist across still water. This is a story for the part of you that is ready to release the day and drift toward dreams. The part that is tired of thinking about their happiness and your sorrow. The part that just wants to rest in something beautiful and simple and true. Many seasons ago, when I first came to live in this hut by the river, I discovered a path I had never noticed before. It appeared one evening when the moon was new, and the darkness was so complete, I had to feel my way along the bamboo grove just to find my door. But that night, perhaps because I was moving so slowly, perhaps because I was feeling instead of seeing, I noticed a faint luminescence coming from deeper in the grove. Not light exactly, more like the memory of light, the ghost of brightness, the softest glow you can imagine. I followed this pale radiance with my hands outstretched, touching bamboo stalks to steady myself. The path curved gently, never sharp, never sudden, always just enough light to see the next step. Nothing more. I could hear the river to my left, closer than it should be, as if the path was leading me toward a part of the water I had never visited. My feet found smooth stones, placed just where they needed to be. Not a formal path, but something more organic, as if the earth itself had arranged these stones over centuries for someone walking just this slowly, just this carefully. The luminescence grew slightly stronger as I moved deeper into the grove. I realized it was coming from the bamboo itself. Some quality of the new moon darkness was allowing the bamboo to release light it had been gathering all month. Not all these stalks glowed, only the oldest ones, the ones that had stood through countless seasons, the ones that had learned to store moonlight in their fiber for nights exactly like this. Nights when someone needed to find their way through darkness so complete it felt solid. The path opened suddenly onto a small pool I had never seen before, fed by an underground spring rather than the river. The water was so still, it looked like black glass, so perfect in its stillness that the few stars visible through the bamboo canopy reflected in it without wavering. I sat on a stone that seemed placed there for exactly this purpose. Smooth from countless sitters before me, warm still from the day's sun, shaped to hold a body that needed to be held. As my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I saw them. Tiny fish, no bigger than flower petals, swimming in the pool. But swimming seems too active a word. They were drifting, floating, occasionally flicking a fin to maintain position, but mostly just suspended in the dark water, like stars in liquid sky. They glowed with the same faint light as the old bamboo, not trying to illuminate anything, just carrying a small amount of brightness because that was their nature. I sat there until dawn, watching these fish move through their slow constellation. Sometimes one would rise to the surface and create ripples that made the reflected stars dance. Sometimes they would gather in the center of the pool, like they were sharing secrets. Sometimes they would disperse to the edges and rest against the smooth stones. They had their own rhythm, their own reasons, their own relationship with the darkness and the light they carried. When the first hint of dawn touched the sky, something extraordinary happened. The fish began to dim. As natural light increased, their own light decreased. By the time the sun cleared the mountain, they looked like ordinary fish in an ordinary pool. The glowing bamboo became regular bamboo. The luminous path disappeared completely. I tried to find it again the next night, but could not. It only appeared on new moon nights, only for those moving slowly enough to notice, only when the darkness was complete enough to let subtle light emerge. I tell you this story because you are in a new moon phase of your healing. The darkness feels total. Their brightness with new love makes your darkness feel darker. Their movement forward makes your stillness feel more still. But you are like those fish in a dark pool. You are carrying your own light. It might be so faint you cannot see it. Others might not notice it at all. But it is there, and it will be enough to help you navigate this darkness, one small movement at a time. The pool is still there, though I only visit it on new moon nights. Sometimes I bring others who are lost in their own darkness. We sit in silence, watching the fish make their slow patterns. No one ever asks what the fish mean, or why they glow, or what lesson they carry. The lesson is too simple for questions. Sometimes darkness allows us to see light we would miss in brightness. Sometimes moving slowly allows us to find paths that do not exist for those who rush. Your grief is like that hidden pool. It exists in a place most people never find, because they do not stay in darkness long enough to let their eyes adjust. They do not move slowly enough to feel the subtle path. They light torches and lanterns and new relationships to avoid the darkness, not knowing that the darkness itself contains its own form of light. You are discovering this light, the light that only appears when external brightness is gone, the light that rises from within when everything outside goes dark. Close your eyes now and imagine you are sitting beside that pool, the stone beneath you still warm from sun that set hours ago. the bamboo creating a gentle shelter around you, the water so still you cannot tell where it ends and the darkness begins, the fish moving in their slow dance, each carrying a tiny spark of light, not enough to read by, not enough to show the way home, just enough to remind you that darkness is not empty. Darkness is full of things that can only be seen when outer light disappears. Your breathing naturally slows beside this pool. There is nothing to do here, nothing to figure out, nothing to heal or fix or change. Just this sitting, just this watching, just this being with darkness that is not really dark once you learn to see what it contains. The fish do not know you are watching. They are simply being fish, swimming their ancient patterns, carrying their inexplicable light, living their mystery without needing to solve it. One fish rises to the surface near where you sit. The ripples reach you like the gentlest touch, like the water saying hello, like the pool welcoming you to its secret. You realize you could sit here forever and never understand why the fish glow, or where the pool comes from, or how the bamboo stores moonlight. And that would be perfectly fine. Some things are not meant to be understood. They are meant to be experienced. Your grief is like this. It does not need to be understood or solved or fixed. It just needs to be experienced at whatever pace feels true. The stars reflect perfectly in the still water. You cannot tell which stars are real and which are reflections. They have become one thing, sky and water meeting in darkness. Distance collapsed into intimacy. The vast made small enough to hold in a pool no bigger than a room. Your heart is like this pool, holding reflections of what feels impossibly far away, making the distant feel close, the lost feel present, the gone feel here. As you sit in this imagined darkness beside this imagined pool, let your body grow heavy. Let your bones settle. Let your muscles release their vigilance. You are safe here in this darkness, safe with these glowing fish, safe with this still water, safe with bamboo that remembers every moon that has ever passed over it, safe in a story that asks nothing of you except to rest. The fish continue their slow dance. They have been dancing like this every new moon for longer than the temple has existed. They will continue long after you and I and everyone we know has returned to earth. They do not dance for meaning or purpose or outcome. They dance because that is what they do in darkness. They carry light because that is what they are. Simple as that, clear as that, perfect as that. Let this simplicity wash over you. You do not need to understand why they are healing faster than you. You do not need to figure out what you did wrong to still be here while they have moved on. You do not need to solve the mystery of different paces. You just need to be like these fish, moving slowly through your darkness, carrying whatever light you naturally carry, following patterns older than thought. The pool holds you in its stillness. The bamboo shelters you with its ancient patience. The stars reflect themselves endlessly in the black water, and somewhere, in a place beneath thought, beneath comparison, beneath the ache of being left behind, you remember something essential. You remember that you have always known how to navigate darkness. You were born from darkness. You grew in darkness for 9 months before you ever met light. You returned to darkness every night and trust it to carry you to morning. Darkness is not your enemy. It is your first home. Rest in this knowing. Rest in this pool of stillness. Rest in this story that has no moral except to trust the darkness. Let the glowing fish swim through your dreams tonight. Let the bamboo light fade into ordinary sleep. Let the pool hold whatever reflections you bring to it. And let yourself sink into the kind of rest that only comes when you stop trying to keep pace with anything except your own deepest nature. And so we come to the end of this long night together. You have been so patient, listening to an old monk speak about seeds, in rivers, in moonlight on water. You have sat with your grief without rushing it. You have let these stories wash over you like water over stones, softening what can be softened, accepting what cannot yet change. This itself is profound healing. This listening, this presence, this willingness to be exactly where you are. As I blow out my single candle and prepare for sleep, I want to leave you with a final blessing. May you know that somewhere in this vast world, there is a small hut by a river where someone understands the pace of your healing. May you feel less alone in your slowness. May you trust that what feels like falling behind is actually falling deep. May you remember the second lotus that waited through drought to bloom magnificently. May you carry the image of moonlight dancing on water, knowing that grief is just love with nowhere to go, shimmering between what was and what is. May your sleep tonight be visited by the kindest dreams, dreams that do not compare or measure or judge, dreams that simply hold you in their strange logic and carry you through landscapes where time moves differently, where healing happens in symbols and metaphors, where you can be both the one who grieves and the one who comforts, where you can practice being whole even while feeling broken. Tomorrow the sun will rise and you will still be you, still moving through this loss at your own sacred pace. They will still be them, building their new life at their different speed. But tonight, in this moment between today and tomorrow, you can rest in the truth that there is no race. There is no winner. There is only the mysterious unfolding of different hearts learning to beat again after breaking. And your heart, broken as it is, slow as it seems, is doing exactly what it needs to do. From this small hut beside the river, I send you the deepest peace, the kind that comes not from understanding, but from accepting mystery, the kind that comes not from healing, but from honoring the process, the kind that comes not from moving on, but from moving through. May this peace find you wherever you are. May it settle into your bones, like moonlight settles on water. May it stay with you through the night and greet you gently in the morning. The bamboo has stopped whispering. The river has found its deepest rhythm. The night has become so quiet, I can hear my own heartbeat. And in this profound silence, I light one stick of incense for you, for your patient heart, for your slow healing, for your courage to keep breathing when breathing hurts. The smoke rises and disappears into darkness, carrying my prayer for your peace, You cannot see it from where you are, but trust that it rises. Trust that it reaches the stars. Trust that it matters that you listened. Trust that it matters that you are still here, still healing, still becoming who you will be on the other side of this grief. Rest now, dear one who heals slowly. Rest without shame. Rest without comparison. Rest knowing that somewhere, beside a dark river, an old monk sees your light glowing softly in the darkness. It may be faint, it may flicker, but it persists. And persistence, not speed, is what carries us through. The last bell of the night rings now, so soft you might think you imagined it. It does not ring to mark time, it rings to release us from time, to remind us that in sleep we return to the timeless place where all healing begins, where there is no ahead or behind, no fast or slow, only the eternal now of rest. Go there now. Go to that timeless place. Let these words fade like incense smoke. Let these stories settle like sediment in still water. Let this night hold you completely, and know that when morning comes, you will be one day deeper into your own becoming, not faster, not slower, just deeper. In depth, dear one, is what makes the lotus bloom. May the soft moon watch over you. May the patient earth hold you. May your dreams be kind. And may you always remember that healing is not a race, but a river, and rivers always find their way home to the sea. No matter how slowly they travel. Sleep well, brave heart. Sleep well.